can hear a voice in my ear saying, we're on a countdown. And as personally, we're just setting up, if you can see us on Facebook, and let's put the link in there. That's where it's going to. And I'm going to refresh and make sure that it is there, because otherwise we're just talking to ourselves, which, this time of day.
Stephen's black.
So it says we're live now. I can see us all. So I'm going to share that to my own timeline, which is what I told people I would do.
And,
okay, so it's now on my timeline.
And I will do something similar to mine and my Facebook page.
Do I need to do the same?
If you want to.
Yep.
How exciting! How do I do that then, gentlemen?
Right, so have you gone, Stephen?
No, if you go to the link, on the right-hand side, you'll see fourth icon down, event chat. Yep. So you've got the telephone, 3 people, a hand, and then underneath that, you've got the chat. If you click on that, it will give you a link.
Yeah. Oh, it's hiding my link.
It's hiding?
Right, no. It says share entire screen, Blue Jeans app, Skype, or Microsoft Edge.
Oh, no, sorry, it's with 3 up from there. It's underneath the hand. Can you see a hand?
No.
All right.
It's all right.
See...
Oh, shut Anyway, we'll just get on with the interview.
Get on with it.
I'll go to your Facebook page. Okay. Get on with it. Get on with it. Who cares? We're here.
Okay. Dan, you are at the helm, and over to you.
Cool. Well, yeah. Good evening. Welcome. Nice to see you, Stephen, and Mary. Nice to have you live with us. After last week's attempt, which didn't quite work, we've rescheduled, changed platform, cutting edge again, and here we are. So welcome to RawChocTV.
And we're episode 5.
Good evening.
Yeah, episode 5, which is amazing, really. That means we've been doing this almost half a year, Stephen, which...
I know. You don't look a day older. Don't look a day older. Good evening, Mary. We were just talking a moment ago before we came on air about yummy scrummies. I suppose the whole world should know about those.
Yeah.
So,
well, I happen to agree, definitely.
I'm sure there's some of my friends have never heard of it. I don't know why not, but you should tell them what's in it.
Okay, well, it's dates, raisins, goji berries, Brazil nuts, walnuts, and lots and lots and lots of cacao. Absolutely loads of cacao. So it's kind of like a raw chocolate brownie type thing with a great big slab of raw chocolate on top. So yeah, it seems to be named pretty well, and people seem to like it.
Well, certainly
that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's well stocked around devices, and it's one of our favourites. In fact, it is our favourite.
Yeah, right. Good man, Stephen. I'll send some more to you.
Thank you. I'll leave it alone. Right. Okay. Now, our main topic for today, before you have your chat with Mary, is what we're talking about today.
Right. Well, it's really sort of talking with Mary about because, well, probably best if you introduce yourself in a second, Mary. But we're looking at really is about health, nutrition, and with a bit of a focus on sort of women's health and how women can. What is it as you put it, can look and feel fabulous throughout all the cycles of their lives? So I recall.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we've even gone on to rebrand it since then, and it's all about having fabulicious hormones. And that's really where fabulicious, delicious, because we all want to feel amazing, whether we're eating yummy scrummy or just getting about our everyday life. So hi everybody that's never met me before. My name's Mairi Taylor. I live in Leicestershire, and through the wonders of modern technology, here we all are on the same platform. So I run my own health and wellness business. My background's HR management, and I'm really starting to focus and specialize and look after women's health, as you said, and on the back of a really, really successful conference and speech that I did at the movement convention for the biomechanics education, I've really found that the area I'm focusing on the moment, as I said, which is working with the women's cycle, understanding and demystifying basically how it works, that it's not taboo, that it is okay to talk about it, and more importantly, for both men and women, if we understand it better, we might actually get more out of the cycle and or get along just a little bit better, and Mars and Venus may actually work in harmony together. And obviously part of that is very much, as you said, it's about the nutrition, it's about the way you move, it's about the way you look after yourself as well. And certainly for me, raw chocolate plays a huge part in fabulicious hormones. So what better place to be to talk about it?
Absolutely. Well, that sounds great, Mary. And I think the thing that you said that I really caught up on was the more we can understand it. And I think that's something certainly I as a bloke would very much like to be able to understand more.
Yeah. Okay. And I think, it's funny, Dan, that you say that for you as a bloke. It's been really interesting for me as I've been doing all my own sort of learning and education over the last sort of 18 months to 2 years, is even as a woman, I've learned so much more, and it's the kind of stuff that you wish you'd known a little bit earlier on, so you could have maybe made some adjustments and changes with. But I think the most important thing to appreciate is that there are, we're all circadian, we're all cyclical, and women in particular, they have a monthly cycle. Men tend to have a daily cycle. So they'll kind of reset, recharge every day. Their estrogen, progesterone, testosterone stuff go up and down every day. For women, it's a much longer cycle over the period of a month or 28 days. And obviously I'm talking textbook. I'm talking the perfect cycle, and not everybody has that. But it's interesting to understand that there are actually 4 stages to that cycle, depending on where your hormones are. And as a consequence of those different stages, that then will have an impact on what you should be eating, how you should be moving, and also what your mood will be. And there are reasons for those different moods. So there's a how phase, there's a why phase, a what phase. There's times of the month when you're more communicative, when you're, when you're at your sort of, you've got some of the peaks of some of those hormones. So testosterone is up, that's when you're going to be sort of with your most male energy, so that's the time to hold meetings. It may also be the time as a man to ask for the golfing holiday or the new car, because we're at our most responsive and open. And then there's other times of the month when, particularly as we go towards menses, where, as my friend started to describe it, she wants to get into her bat cave, and we want to be quiet and we want to be mindful. And I think it's recognizing that there's a purpose to each of those stages, and it's okay to go through them. Obviously, what we're trying to do, or how we're trying to support people, is to not have such huge, there should be some sort of flows in, and recognizing that, well, if I'm feeling a little bit hacked off just before my period, maybe I need to sit and understand what it is that's hacking me off, rather than going in and attacking. But also, maybe if you're the male partner, maybe that is the time of the month where you want to be picking up the socks and not leaving them lying around, because the rest of the month she doesn't care. But for that point of the time where there's a huge need to nest and order, because obviously naturally this is a time when you would be getting ready to start making the baby. So there is a need to nest and for orderly, and all of a sudden we're ticking off lists and doing stuff. So I think for me it's just understanding and demystifying and recognizing that each of those stages has a phase. There's benefits to all of them, and we shouldn't just be trying to flatline them and ignore them and think that someone else is being a pain in the bottom, and maybe we should be working together a little bit more.
I'd never
so
say
that's
that
kind
to my
of
partner.
no, I'm a very brave man then, Stephen, absolutely. But I think as well for women it gets very frustrating where and I certainly know for myself that when I'm not looking after myself nutritionally and emotionally and physically, it can feel like a real roller coaster. And particularly things like managing your blood sugar levels, eating the right foods at different times of the month can all have a huge impact on keeping everything, just a little bit more balanced, so that you don't really, there can be times when you think you're going a bit mad and or irrational.
We can all be irrational. Is it an idea, just from what you've just been saying, to have an eating plan for the 28 days so that you're prepared in advance for the sort of things? Yeah,
I mean, definitely. So during if I sort of work just after menses is the time when the body is most would use fats most as its substrate, so you'd be able to have a lot more fat in your diet, and so that would be that would be really beneficial. And also fat, whilst we all know it's been demonized, it's actually really important for hormonal health. So lots of good fish oils, the coconut oils, cacao, all those kinds of good fats, and whether you're vegan or not, whether if you're taking lean animal protein, or lots and lots of good sources of so for me, I'll get my fats, I'll actually eat butter. So one of the things that's really supportive for me is steamed vegetables with butter on them. I found that works really well for me. I'll cook with coconut oil, I'll eat oily fish, all those kinds of things. But obviously if you're vegan or vegetarian, then you're going to look at other sources of good fats. Once you've gone through ovulation and you're moving into the second half or the luteal phase, then the body then will start to use protein much more as the sort of substrate of choice. So again, we might want to protect that, and also naturally for a lot of women that might be the time of the month when they're feeling the need for more carbohydrates, as they're moving towards their period. And I think, I'm certainly one of those women who spent years fighting those cravings, and particularly because I followed quite a lot of low carb diets, which, have suited me really well. But at certain times of the month, I would be wanting more carbs. I've now learned to actually eat differently, as you say, at different times of the month. So if I'm recognizing that I'm getting those carb cravings, then absolutely sweet potato, or surprise, some raw chocolate, although some people might think that's a bit more fat than carb. But, I allow myself, rather than trying to work against what my body's naturally asking me for, to do that. And then not just about, and that also then if you're training or you're quite athletic, that's going to protect your protein, your muscle mass and all the rest of it. And then the other thing for me that's really key is, particularly if people have PMS or they have problems with their periods, because I certainly used to be somebody that struggled and had quite bad period pains. Food preparation becomes really key. So making sure, my professor, my lecturer, Jessica Drummond, she called it scaffolding. And making sure that there was food prep done. So around those times of the month, if you don't feel like making food, or you can't be bothered, or you're in too much pain, there's actually food already prepared that's really nourishing. So again, around the time of the period, when we're releasing a lot of blood, the uterine lining is shedding, then we want to be doing lots of blood building, lots of nurturing foods, lots of warming foods, again, very high anti-inflammatory, maybe using like your beetroots and, things like that are supporting the body to regenerate and renew. So absolutely, Stephen, different things at different times of the month, it's worth, and I think we naturally, when we can get back in tune with ourselves, we will actually start to recognize, that's when I'm just going to eat I feel like I just want fat and protein. Then obviously vegetables all the time. That's the one caveat for me personally all the way through. Other times of the month it might be a little less fat and more carbohydrates. And then, just working through and using the foods to nourish, to replenish, and to reduce inflammation. And if somebody as well is suffering with PMS and difficult period, making sure that they're supporting their natural detoxification processes. So lots of the green veggies going in to support with the, estrogen release from the body as well. So, I think like anything, there's quite a science to it. And this for me is one of the things that has become really important, is recognizing that I do have a rhythm. I'm not the same every day, and therefore I shouldn't try to eat and behave and move the same way every day as well.
And it makes so much
philosophy.
sense.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just saying it does make so much sense.
And I think,
and
I think honoring that cycle as well is really helpful to minimizing those huge peaks and troughs. Sorry, Stephen, I get a bit passionate about this subject.
That's fine. I mean, this is all very useful information, and we're understanding and taking it in. Is there an exercise plan that goes along with the food plan? Is my next question.
Well, yes, because again, naturally, dependent on how you're, so as we come out of menses and then move towards ovulation, we're going to get, peaks, particularly of the testosterone. So that might be the time of the month when, hopefully you've got a competition, or you can lift heavier, or you're going to go for personal bests and so on and so forth. Round the time of ovulation, which is about mid-month, was when we're at our most communicative. So, that might be when we want to do group exercise, or go out with our friends for a run, or do things together, or salsa dance, or do something that's very much in the spirit of community. Then as we come out of ovulation and start to move towards menses and the hormones change again, so we'll have more sort of progesterone and less estrogen. We might still be able to do some of our hits and some of our training, but maybe bringing it down towards a little bit more rest and restoration, maybe a bit more yoga, Pilates, lower intensity workouts, so towards the end of that period. And then obviously during menses, depending on how someone's feeling, again, restorative work, and then ready to build up. So again, if we think about naturally in the athletic world, we periodize, we talk about periodized training. So, and it allows you then to mix and match stuff. So, towards the end, maybe you're going to do more nature walking, but all of that's about allowing the body to regenerate. And go again, ready then for that next phase when the estrogen goes up, the testosterone goes up, we're ready and we can keep PBing. So again, we don't, ideally, there's nothing, we don't do the same thing every day of the month. And I think, again, if we can start to recognize that, and that was certainly something I found as I was trying to be the same thing every day, every month. And now I might go, well, I really don't feel like that today. And I'll go and I'll want to do something a little bit lower down, or I might speak to my personal trainer and say, this time at the moment I want to still train, but can we do something differently? And then obviously we have the flip side, where if someone is an athlete, or is a weekend warrior, or has a competition around the time of the month when maybe it wouldn't be ideal, or they might not be at the best, and it was very interesting, obviously, this summer at the Olympics, we had the Chinese swimmer that talked about the fact that she hadn't been able to perform so well because she was actually during her period of menses. Is what can we then do to support the woman around that time if she has got her 5K or a 10K or a marathon, or she's doing something? And that again is where the scaffolding comes in to support them. So yes, that was a long-winded answer, Stephen, to your question, but definitely, there's times of the month when you're going to be able to lift heavy, run fast, push hard, and there will be other times of the month when you can try pushing against that. And obviously some people can, and for others it's about honoring and saying, now's the time to go and do yoga and Pilates, or maybe just nothing, or just walk in nature. And then I'll restore my body and I'll be ready to go again.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, again, it just makes so much sense. One of the little phrases I've sort of heard you say a couple of times is about listening to your body. And I think having that, the framework or the basis of a model to work with, and that you can refer to, but then applying that to how you're feeling. And it's something that I've, in my journey with food and nutrition, it's the more I've learned to listen to my body and actually to recognize what's going on there, the more I'm able to actually adapt my diet. And as a result, I feel better all the time. And it's that listening to our bodies. And I think we've kind of become conditioned and programmed to, we come home, we have the same old food day in, day out. We have the same thing for breakfast day in, day out, and that sort of thing. And like you say, we should be the same all year round, day in, day out. And it's just not the case. So yeah, absolutely. So no, fascinating, really fascinating. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when you look at,
and I think
sorry, carry on. You're okay.
No, I was going to say, and I think you've absolutely hit the nail on the head. And one of the training companies that I work with, called Metabolic Effect, they always talk about be your own detective. And I think that's the thing. We try and fit other people's models of what we should be doing, and we stop listening, or we get frustrated, or say we've got no willpower, or I can't do this. And actually, no, it's just that your bio-individuality is completely different. So for example, one of the things that I've recently been working on is my sleep patterns. So obviously, we've talked about food and we've talked about activity. Sleep, as we know, is a huge area to focus on. And I work with quite a lot of new mums, and obviously sleep, then all of a sudden we understand why it's used as a form of torture. And I've spent years, we were told, I was being told, in order for fat loss and to do this and do that, you got to be in bed by 10 o'clock and lights out and and I actually spent a good few years getting totally stressed trying to get to bed for 10 o'clock at night. Well, I'm normally not, I'm a midnight kind of girl, and but I didn't realize that. And I was then trying to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and running boot camps and doing this and that. I listened to a podcast a few weeks ago, and it was saying that there's four different types of sleep. And actually, I'm a bit more of a wolf, might not surprise some of the people who know me. So I now go for a later finish and a later start. So and that's suiting me really, really well. So again, it's that. I mean, I'm very lucky. I'm self-employed, so I can kind of get up at, when it suits me. But it's all those kinds of things. It's not about following other people's rules. It's about listening. Because again, if we go back to the, back in the day where we always go about, the paleo diet and the Neanderthal, there would have been the people that stayed awake through the night to protect the cave and the village. There would have been the early risers who went out and got the worm. There would have been the people there during the day cooking. And then there would have been people that did the sort of night shift. Instead, we've tried to say everyone does 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. And again, 9 to 5 Monday to Friday kind of suits the male physicality much better than the female, because as I said earlier, they regenerate every day. Women tend to need a cycle to do that, is one of the theories I've read, and it makes sense to me.
And to me too.
Have we lost Dan?
Yes, Dan just disappeared. He wasn't here. He wasn't on Facebook. Hopefully he'll be back in a moment. Now,
all right, then.
One of the things that amazed everybody, Jessica EnnisHill retired last week, but she had 12 months after she had the baby, she was back at the top of her game.
Yeah.
And that, I find the fact that she was able to do that astonishing. I'm sure a lot of people do.
Mhm. Would you, at the end of the day though, that is somebody whose sole focus is her athletic performance, and she would have been very well looked after during her pregnancy, because that would have, I'm assuming, I don't know her story, but I'm sure if we did some digging, you would find that she was always going to come back.
Right.
So all her nutrition, everything would have been done leading up to that, and then postnatally, I'm 100% sure she'd have had all the right input, so she wouldn't have lost as much as some people would have done. And she'd have still, because you can still keep training. I had a client who ran a half marathon 2 weeks before she gave birth.
Wow. Right.
Not because I said go and do it. That was her choice. But I've had clients come to my classes right up until they're a couple of weeks before they're giving birth. But Jessica would have had the right support, the right nutrition, probably the right care and support around looking after a little one as well. And that would have made her journey back quicker.
Yeah, so she's got a team of people around her to support her.
Absolutely.
She's still following a nutrition plan and an exercise plan. She's still doing nutrition.
She would have had oh, absolutely. There's no way she would have done all of, in my view, without all the right nutrition, all the right training, to support her. And also, as you said, that not just the training, but the scaffolding around her. And that's often, what a lot of people are missing, in particular women, sometimes, is they're trying to do it all without some of the support networks around them. So I'm quite sure, unlike some of the mums that I work with, if she needed to go and do her training, someone would have looked after her baby. Whereas, a lot of normal mums, in inverted commas, because Jessica is still a normal mum, is they haven't got anyone who can look after the baby to find an hour a week, let alone to put in the hours that Jessica would have done to do her training.
I totally agree with that. Now, you mentioned earlier, and Jan was grateful for it, raw chocolate, and what part does that play in a good diet?
Well, obviously, we live in a world where we like our treats, and we've already talked about the fact, at certain times of the month there is a need. We all know it's the go and get me the bar of chocolate or you're going to die kind of mentality and focus. And what do you mean you've bought me chocolate? I said not to, because at the end of the day, the chocolate comes with some of the nutrients. So for me it became about, well, why not have, if I'm looking for, I don't want to go crazy. I certainly know for me that, excuse me, in particular, dairy doesn't suit me very well. High sugar doesn't suit me very well, but I still want to enjoy raw treats. I still want to enjoy nice things. So that is where the raw chocolate came in, because I wanted to swap one habit for a healthier one, and the raw chocolate for me became the sort of obvious answer, because I was still getting that chocolate experience, but without all of the nasties, basically.
Indeed.
And a lot more. I still don't I don't agree with the people who say you can never eat too much raw chocolate, because I certainly don't find that there isn't a stop button. But the thing is, it's really rich in the magnesium and some of the other compounds which help to balance our hormones as well. So for me, it's just a great alternative.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we've got the raw chocolate making kit. Just a bit of advertising for Dan whilst he's away. We've got the raw chocolate making kit, and we've been eating yummy scrummies for ages. And when he does send you one, you'll see that why I agree that you can have too much raw chocolate, because once you've eaten the yummy scrummy, we tend to cut it in half. Let's put it that way. We have half each, and that's enough chocolate for the moment. I'm just wondering.
But I think as well, when it's the yummy scrummy, obviously it's got the dates in it as well, it's got the nuts, there's a lot more to it, so from a nutritional perspective. And again, I think this is a thing sometimes when we're comparing fat and macros and all of this to nutrition. We're looking, the dates again are a really, really rich source of magnesium. Magnesium is important for so many systems in the body, and particularly a lot of hormonal systems. So it makes sense that those are the kinds of things we want to be eating round about, certain times of the month. I know for me, raw dates can be my go-to. If I'm just feeling a little bit low on energy or a little bit down, and I haven't managed to eat the way I should have done, then a couple of dates will just sort of, they're my what we call a buffer food. They'll just keep me going, and I'm good to go. And then we carry on.
Indeed. Now, our next plan. He's back. Just a minute. Oh. Hold the news.
Where have you been?
Oh dear.
Where have you been?
Well,
do you have to let the dog out?
No. My web browser just crashed on me and then took forever to restart. So yeah.
Happens to us all. You've arrived just at the moment where we're going to play the video or attempt to play the video. So
okay, excellent.
I'm going to share the screen, and hopefully, in a moment, I'm going to go over to the video. I'm going to play the video and go full screen.
Oh. Wow, that looks amazing.
It's my ever faithful Halloween raw chocolate fondue. It's great fun for the kids and something a bit different from just a normal pumpkin.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Just one tea light inside is enough to melt the cacao. And then, like I say, you make a batch of chocolate and then dip fruit in and have some fun and get messy.
Wow, and are you literally putting one tea light at the bottom of the pumpkin?
That's all it is. Yep, just one tea light in the bottom, and
wow.
That's it. And you just take your time and leave it, and then it sort of and once it's melted, you got a bit of a glimpse of it in the video there. Because the cacao butter melts, you just get this glowing. It almost looks like the head is full of lava. It's brilliant before you mix in the powder. So yeah, it's just a good bit of fun.
Fantastic. And I think that's the thing, because Stephen and I were talking earlier about why the raw chocolate, and one of the things that's so key for me is, particularly when I used to have a lot of the processed stuff, is that really does imbalance the hormones. It gives you that sugar high, it gives it gets you on that sort of roller coaster and everything, adds becomes inflammatory, doesn't heal. So with that short term calmness that it brings is soon negated by the sugar and the other rubbish that's in there. So, and that's one of the things for me why I really got into the raw chocolate, was people were looking for that treat. How could they enjoy some of these foods with their kids and so on and so forth. So things like that's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah. And speaking of raw chocolate treats, is a rather nice raw chocolate mousse.
Oh, and what's in that tonight then, Dan?
Quite easily, in fact, I'll do it again. Carry on amongst yourselves.
We were.
Oh yeah. In fact, that's what I was doing, eating that.
Oh, right. Okay.
the tin of coconut milk that you allow to set and pour off the liquid. I mean, so it's the cream from a tin of coconut milk, cacao powder, and then whatever your sweetener of choice is. So it could be raw honey, maple syrup, something like that. And then you just mix it together, and it just makes the best chocolate mousse you can imagine. Easy as that.
Wow.
So, yeah. It's
cool.
It's rich, it's indulgent, and full of good things rather than loads of junk.
So how is that one serving then?
That glass was full to about there, so almost full, and it made 2 of those glasses, and I've managed to eat about half of it last night, and I'll have the other half tonight, and Paula's managed to eat about half of hers. So yeah, it's because it's so rich, you don't need much. So yeah. So, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's how you can sort of take normal things, and make them into something that sort of doesn't have the junk, doesn't give you those sort of peaks and troughs of your energy, and doesn't mess around with your hormones. That's one of the things that I enjoy doing, is trying to find healthier, more natural alternatives to sort of some of the other things that sort of people sort of, because it's amazing. People sort of say, oh, well, if I'm going to start living healthily or have a healthy diet and that sort of thing, I'm going to miss out on, and they start trying to say all these things they're going to miss out on, and 9 times out of 10 you can find an alternative to replace it, which will taste as good or better and doesn't have the sort of the negative effects on your body. So yeah, it's sometimes just being a bit creative, I think.
And I think that's definitely for me, because that whole aspect of is my screen really, really tiny now? Do I look like a tiny little pink Oompa Loompa in the corner of the screen?
No.
All right, okay. It's just on my screen. I'm about, not that I've got an ego or anything like that. So I think
you're looking good on Facebook as well.
And oh, bless you. And I think that was the thing for me when I started doing the sort of the healthy living and changing the way that I ate and eating more vegetables and all the rest of it. It kind of was like really easy to cook some fish and have some vegetables, but it, like you said, it's like, what about the other stuff? And what I actually found, and there was a lady in Sheffield, and I can't remember her name, and she's going to kill me for not remembering her name. And I remember she used to keep posting all these amazing desserts and treats, and I was like, why are you posting desserts and puddings and cakes? And she said, because that's the stuff that people miss. And if I can show that anyone knows how to cook a piece of chicken or make a nut, whatever, she said, but if I can show them how to make, treats or serve a cake when Auntie Flossie comes round and we all sit round and I can still have nice treats, but it fits in with my plan and my nutrition. Then she says, and I was like, oh my God, that just makes so much sense to me now, because, that is where the fun and the creativity, comes from.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing better, is there, than making like a cake that's made out of vegetables and different flours and all nut flours and things like that, and people going, oh my gosh, this tastes as good, if not better.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the things that sort of we enjoy when we sort of we get feedback from sort of our customers and things like that. They sort of send in pictures of things they've done, or just drop us an email just to say that they've been blown away by something and they didn't realize it was so easy to make raw chocolate, or that they tried some of the recipes on our website and they they as they start doing that more, it's almost like people start getting it a bit more and suddenly going, okay, so actually I don't have to miss out on anything.
No, absolutely. And I'll even use raw cacao in some of my juices, or so I'm a natural juice therapist. That's one of the things that I do, and a huge advocate of juicing. But again, at certain times of the month, I might add a tablespoon of raw cacao to my green juice in the morning, blend it all in, And that makes it, I love that. And then one of my absolute favourites, and we served it the last weekend, so I thought I'm not going to take raw chocolate, but I am going to add chocolate into the juices. And we called it the Boost It shot, and it was beetroot, pear, lime, and then blended in some raw cacao, and that was just amazing. And when we're talking about performance, you think about all the nitrates that are in there, or the antioxidants. Could have it pre-workout, post-workout, during workout, or just as a really, really delicious. Because the lime and the chocolate just are such a beautiful combination, and with the beetroot as well. So yeah, that's one of my favourite shots.
Right, I've got an idea. It's quite a simple one. Mary, can you type that up for me? Next time you make it, take some pictures, either email them over, and we'll stick them up on the website. Because that'd be brilliant. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. It is. It's really. It's. Yeah.
The scope for a RawChocTV juicing show.
There certainly is.
We could combine it with Jackie's raw chocolate stew,
and we could drink them at the same time. We're on the show.
We'll have to get Jackie back for a raw chocolate stew.
Now what was that? Then that just sounds really intriguing.
Well, we never.
Was it a savoury dish or a?
Well, we don't really know. It was,
okay.
It was episode 2. We had someone called Jackie Malpass, who was a guest on the show, and she had us in fits of laughter, and decided that she was going to go off and perfect a raw chocolate stew. I don't know what came of it. I think we might have to chase her up on that one, Stephen.
I think we'll have to ask.
I was just going to say, Jackie, we need. Yeah, Jackie, where's the raw chocolate stew? Surely that's just melted chocolate with stuff in it.
I don't. Well, when it comes to Jackie's recipes, who knows?
Oh wow! Yeah, Jackie, we need your stew. We need your stew.
Oh, fantastic. Well, it's a shame I disappeared for a little while, because I was really enjoying the conversation, but I trust that the two of you continued it in fine form.
The show must go on down.
I think we did.
Exactly. Even I'm not indispensable.
Yeah, you've just proved that tonight. Bye.
Right, I'll go again.
Not at all.
It's been absolutely fantastic talking to you, Mary, and really eye-opening. And and I thought, like you said, you said earlier, you get so passionate about this. It really does come across how much passion you have for this subject and this topic, that comes across, and obviously in how you will work with people, I'm sure it comes through there as well. So it's brilliant for me to meet other people who sort of have a passion for what they do, because that's one of the things that I've got with raw chocolate and Stephen's got with live video, is that we've all got our passions in these areas, and it's how we can all come together in sort of a weird, wonderful mix that is RawChocTV.
Indeed it is.
Absolutely.
How can people contact you, Mary? How can people contact you?
Okay, so how can people contact me? So I have a website. So we've got fab-fitness.com. Obviously, I'm on, not obviously, because if you don't know me, but I'm on Facebook. So that's under Fab Fitness Barrow as well. Instagram, MT06. I think that's what it is. Gosh, I don't even know what my own Instagram account is. I better have a check. It's MT06 Fab.
Okay.
That was very good. And I think it's all on my little blog for under here. But also as well, if people want to contact me, we run quite a few day retreats, myself and my yoga buddy Amy Fitter, because one of the things we want to do is create this space where women can get off the merry-go-round that is life. have a recharge, be nourished and looked after. I do a lot of raw chefing for the events, and Amy looks after all of the mindfulness and the yoga, and we invite other people to come and do creative. We've got a weekend away soon, and we're going to be doing a raw chocolate workshop as part of that event. So various ways to contact me through the website, through Facebook, through Instagram. Excellent. And always really happy to connect with people and share. Excellent. I've also started now to do a little bit more public speaking, particularly on this subject matter. So I'm going to be sharing other people's events, because I'm sure there may be opportunities around the country for people to come and do that, because as I said, for me, this really has become I wish I'd known this 5, 10, 15 years ago. And certainly when I speak to a lot of my girlfriends and clients, it is about demystifying, because we're all kind of taught that, our bodies are taboo and we shouldn't talk about these kinds of things. And I'm going to say it now, because if I never have a conversation, I'm the woman that's quite happy to talk about periods and poop. Yeah, because, they're both so important to our health.
Yeah,
both
absolutely.
So important to our health. They're a huge measure of how well we are. And you had a dog. I saw there was a dog. I know you've got dogs. Yeah. We're always checking that their bowel movements are okay. I don't know how I've managed to bring it down. If you've got children, you're always focused on their. That becomes the only topic of conversation. So it's such a huge measure, and I think we just need to get back to being a little bit more in touch with ourselves and saying it's okay to talk about some of the things that aren't going right, so that we can put them right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. Well, I'll put a link to. There's a note on our Facebook page which has got all your profile and contact details. Yeah. I'll put a link to that underneath the video once we've finished. And yeah, absolutely. No, it's been great talking to you.
Thank you.
We normally would have I'd be launching a competition or announcing a competition about now in the show, but I'm not this month, because we've just come off the back of raw chocolate, not raw chocolate, if only it was raw chocolate, come off the back of chocolate week. So we were running a competition all week last week. So we're having a bit of a break, but 1st of November is our 6th birthday. Not RawChocTV's, but Elements for Life's 6th birthday. So I will be launching a big competition then, and I'm going to announce the winner on the next episode of RawChocTV. So
wow.
If people want to sort of keep an eye out for that, sign up to the Raw Chocolate Lover Club on our website, or keep an eye on our Facebook page. It will be our biggest ever competition so far, with a fabulous prize, and we'll announce the winner live next month.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Well, it was my business's 6th birthday this year as well, so that's a little bit uncanny.
Ah,
what was happening 6 years ago? What was happening 6 years ago?
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I was very, very bored of working in IT. I know that.
Oh, all right.
So speaking of the next show, I've got it in my diary for the 9th of November. Okay. So I think that's what we're going to go for again, which is the 2nd Wednesday of the month. Unless we have any technical glitches, in which case it might slide again. But hopefully not.
Removable fees.
Exactly. So no, brilliant. Thank you ever so much, Mary. It's been fabulous talking to you.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah, a real eye opener, and definitely so wish you luck with everything, and I look forward to seeing how we can work together, really.
Right.
I'm
sure there will be ways.
Come up with some things.
Yeah, there's only one way we can close this show, and that's by sharing the screen again. And just to get it right, just give me a second with the recipe.
Yay!
And what I'll do is when I play around with the recording, I'll splice over the live video so you actually get the soundtrack, because there's quite an entertaining little bit of sound to go with that video.
We're getting closer to getting this right. So a big thank you to everybody who's joined us on Facebook tonight. Mary, it's been a pleasure to meet. And Dan, do you want to close and we'll say goodbye?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks ever so much. Thanks, Stephen and Mary. And see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye. Fabulicious hormones.
Bye.
Bye.